Hi there. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about two of my favorite subjects, PR and marketing. Today we'll be learning about the difference between the two, how they are similar, and how to use both to maximize communication and promotion around your brand. So welcome. First, give yourself a pat on the back for being here and listening in. My hope is that every minute of this podcast will be a value add for your business. And thank you for trusting Flourish to teach you more about this important topic for businesses of any size. I want to take a moment to introduce Flourish and myself. Flourish was founded in 2018 on the premise of helping businesses find ways to establish long-term growth plans. Fueled by the passion to succeed, an innovative way of thinking, and a killer team, in our opinion, Flourish has helped more than 40 businesses, organizations, and individuals reach their goals through strategic marketing and public relations. And that's just the start. My name is Logan Kate, and I'm a senior account manager at Flourish. My background is primarily in public relations, and since I joined the Flourish team in 2019, I've been able to sharpen my PR and marketing knowledge even more. I'm excited to share some of what I've learned along the way. So let's jump in. So there's not going to be too much school throughout this podcast, but we are going to start with a quiz. So true or false? Public relations and marketing are the same thing. Again, do you think that's true? They are the same thing? Do you think that's false? They're different? Or are you kind of like, I honestly don't know? This is a common confusion and debate we hear often. So let's go ahead and set the record straight. This is my public service announcement. Marketing and public relations are not one and the same, but both are important communication strategies that can help your business grow and thrive. So again, they aren't the same, but many professionals like our team at Flourish do focus on both, which can make it confusing. To me, you need PR and marketing because they both support each other, and when used together, might just be the special sauce that helps your company grow. Now, you may know a lot about PR, but not much about marketing, or maybe you're a marketing whiz and you aren't even quite sure what PR stands for. Or maybe you're here to learn about both. So that's where we're going to start. First up, public relations. Now, bear with me because this is where I start to really geek out. Have you ever heard the name Bill Gates? He's the founder of Microsoft and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He's also known as one of the most successful entrepreneurs of the modern world. So he's kind of a big deal. Bill Gates once said that if he had one last dollar to spend, he'd spend it on public relations. Those are pretty strong words from such a well-known and successful business person. And you're about to find out why PR is so important. But first, what is public relations? Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines public relations as the business of inducing the public to have understanding for and goodwill toward a person, firm, or institution. So again, public relations is the business of inducing the public to understand and have goodwill toward a person, firm, or institution. But what does that actually mean? PR is the art of enhancing or maintaining the public's opinion of a company, idea, initiative, individual, or brand through storytelling and action. It's a strategic practice that creatively connects your brand to your audience, promotes their understanding of your brand, shapes their perception of your brand, and ultimately changes their behavior in a way that benefits your brand. Through PR, organizations and individuals establish trust, demonstrate benevolence, and build credibility among their audiences. A strong, proactive public relations strategy is multi-leveled. While most think of PR in terms of media engagement, which is a vital element, companies should also consider integrating employee relations, community relations, investor relations, and consumer relations strategies into their communications plan, depending on their goals. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. What qualities do you look for most in a friend? Most would say honesty, loyalty, and similarity in values, among others. So simply put, the same goes for businesses choosing other businesses to work alongside, or individuals choosing causes or initiatives to support. Public relations is the practice of establishing and communicating about your reputation, which will build trust and encourage others to choose you. Being portrayed positively in the news lends to your brand's credibility while boosting visibility and shaping the public's perspective. But PR tactics don't end with favorable media coverage or a successful press conference. Knowing which tools and tactics work best for your organization will strengthen your PR plan. So let's talk a little bit about this storytelling plus action equals reputation. Storytelling. At Flourish, it's our philosophy that every company and brand has a unique story to tell, and that story sets them apart from their competitors. But storytelling only goes so far if there isn't action to back it up. Remember what you learned as a child. Words aren't everything. Actions speak even louder than words. Good PR isn't just talking the talk, it's also walking the walk through who you support, what you're giving back, and just what kind of heart you're giving toward your community or the world. And both of those things get together, storytelling plus action, is what's going to equal your reputation. PR tactics are the building blocks to establishing and maintaining your reputation. And when it comes to businesses, public opinion can make a huge difference. And we're going to talk a little bit about that now. Let's look at some brands with strong and proactive public relations strategies. Publix, my favorite place to buy groceries. Maybe it's yours too. Publix started in Florida and quickly became a regional franchise. Now it's becoming nationwide. Why? Here are a few things people think about when they think of Publix. They think of Publix being family-oriented. They think of Publix hiring diverse employees, especially employees who might have disabilities. People think of Publix's amazing college tuition assistance programs for their staff. And then they also think of Publix's great customer service. Another thing, Publix so far has been pretty scandal-free for a company. But our world is so connected now through social media and the internet. Chances are, the more Publix grows, eventually there could be an incident that hits the press and casts a negative light on Publix. Even great companies face bad PR from time to time. What Publix has on its side is a great reputation. As long as they handle future situations with grace and take ownership when they need to, chances are they'll bounce back within a few news cycles. And that is the power of proactive PR. Another example of a great PR campaign is the Mississippi Believe It campaign, which launched in 2005 as a pro bono effort by the Surlot Agency, a Mississippi-based communications firm serving a global list of clients. So Mississippi is often known for having a bad reputation because of the state's tumultuous past, low educational and health rankings, among other things, along with many other southern states. But in 2005, this Mississippi firm saw all the good things Mississippi had to offer that may be attractive to businesses, students, and families. They launched a national campaign called Mississippi Believe It to turn that negative perception around. Here are a few pieces of propaganda used. One that stands out a lot to me is a flyer that they put out that says, "Yes, we can read. A few of us can even write," which includes all of these Pulitzer Prize winning, award winning, notable authors that were born from the state of Mississippi. That kind of puts Mississippi's poor educational reputation aside. When we look at this impressive list like William Faulkner, Tennessee Williams, John Grisham, and so many others who called Mississippi home. While Mississippi still isn't a perfect state, no state is, the state did see its image improve in the eyes of the public, which has helped the state be more successful. So as you can see, PR does make a difference. Of course, there are brands who haven't done so well in the PR arena. Remember the BP oil spill? I think it's safe to say that incident was a disaster, known for harming wildlife and skyrocketing oil prices, among other issues. There's one brand whose name will never be the same, British Petroleum, known to most as BP. So here's what they did wrong. BP never took credit for its mistake or accepted the magnitude of the issue caused by their oil rigs spill. Instead, they got defensive. And in the end, they never fully apologized for what they did. The result, BP is a far less trusted brand, and they'll never likely be to the same level that they were before, because anyone that was born during that time could remember that time will forever remember BP as the oil spill company. And they could have fixed that with just a little bit of better PR. But you know that old English proverb, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And while BP fell from grace after the oil spill, other brands like Dawn made lemonade out of lemons and is now one of the most beloved and trusted brands in America. They showed and continue to show how their product is safe for wildlife and was used to clean and save animals affected by the oil spill. That campaign was so successful that Dawn still has those cute little duckies on its packaging. There are many different kinds of public relations strategies that may be a good fit for your business. Media relations refers to actually engaging with reporters to get your story earned and placed in different news publications on a local, statewide, national, and global level. Employee relations refers to what your employees and your staff think of your company. Remember, your employees are often your front line for all communications effort. If they're speaking positively about your brand, there's a good chance people who know those employees will be speaking positively about their brand too. I can think of companies who have excellent marketing and are very well known and successful, but they also have a reputation for treating their employees poorly. And in the end, that will come back and bite them. Community relations refers to how your company is positioned in the community. Are they a team player? Do they help out? Do they sponsor events? Again, community relations really relates to a company's benevolence or the goodwill that they have towards others. And when you extend goodwill towards others, as karma says, what goes around comes around and goodwill comes back on you. Investor relations refers to how companies are positioning themselves to potential investors and what they see in your company, what investors see in your company that will make them want to invest and put their money in you. Consumer and customer relations is where we get the most confusion with marketing. This just refers to in the store or on a website, what's the feeling that your customers get when they're interacting with your brand? Government relations refers to getting bills and legislation passed through the government. And there's lots of ways that you can use public relations to help influence that kind of action. And then finally, industry relations is going to be how your company positions itself as a thought leader. There are also many different PR tactics your company may consider using depending on your PR objectives. Some of those include earned media, which again means not paying for a spot in a newspaper or an online publication, but actually working with the reporter to earn that media for free. Strategic events that communicate who your company is and what they're about. Internal communications newsletters, that relates back to employee relations. Community involvement and volunteerism. Award submissions that show that you're a leader in your industry or community. Issue or awareness campaigns. Focus groups and community meetings that show your benevolence and care to hear others' opinions. And social media and blogs. Now let's talk about marketing. Henry Ford, creator of Ford Motors, once said, "Stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time." I think it's his way of saying you have to spend money to make money. And when it comes to marketing, we agree. People often try to put marketing in a box. They limit themselves to believing marketing consists of a few social media posts, some branded pins, and maybe a billboard on the side of the road if it's in the budget this year. While all three can be successful tactics, it's just the beginning. Strong marketing requires strategy. Different from public relations strategies, marketing strategies are focused on convincing your audience to buy or buy into your product or service. Early on, marketing professionals learn about the 4 Ps, which are product, price, promotion, and place. So a product is the actual good or service your company offers its customers or clients. Now, what does that have to do with marketing? Well, if your product or service isn't good, then it's not going to sell. So the basic building blocks for good marketing is to have a product or service that is sellable, that people are going to want. The second P is price. And price is simply the cost of your product or service. It's the value that you place on it. And there's a whole lot that you can learn about the science behind pricing different items and how those prices, whether they're higher or lower, whether they're $1.69 or $1.99, how that's going to affect buyer behavior. The third P is place. This is the place where your product or service is available. Are you a local storefront in a small town? Are you a regional brand? Are you an online store, e-commerce, where anyone in the nation can access your services or buy your products? All of those different elements have a role in marketing. It's very important in this digital world that you're accessible to your audience, and place is your accessibility. And then fourth is promotion. Now, this is the aspect of marketing that gets the most confused with public relations, because PR can be an aspect of promotion. Promotion mostly includes advertising and a communications strategy that are going to bring that product, price, and place across the finish line. Promotion is the part that makes people want your product above any other. When I was a little girl in a toy shop, my mom would ask me, okay, do you want this or do you need this? That was always a hard question for me. Well, just like a child in a toy store, good marketing will push you past feeling like you just want a product or service. So good marketing will push you past feeling like you just want a product or service. It will make you feel like you need it. In fact, it will alter the list of things that in this world that people believe they need to survive and be successful. Here are some companies that come to mind for me whose marketing made me feel like I needed it. Do you own any Apple products? An iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook Pro? Remember when iPods were a thing? I bet you needed one of those too. The Apple logo actually reminds me of that forbidden fruit that you can't have, but something makes you need to take a bite out of it. Well, we as society took the bait, and now Apple is one of the most successful and disrupting technology companies of all time. How do they do it? Product, place, promotion, and price. They have products that are excellent, that make people need them, especially in my industry, in the public relations, marketing, graphic design industry. It's known as the premier tool for your success. Place, iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, they're accessible anywhere. In Huntsville, I can think of 2 different places where we have dedicated Mac stores. And you can also get Mac products at any of your local telephone companies, like a Verizon, a T-Mobile, an AT&T, and so many other technology places like Best Buy and companies like that. They're everywhere. And you can order right online and have it delivered to your door. Promotion. Now, Apple has always blown it out of the water with the promotion, with their bright, vibrant colors and their cool people using their technology, which makes you want to be the cool person using their technology. And now price, sure, Apple is more pricey than other products of its kind, but that doesn't seem to deter anyone, because Apple has made you say, I don't just want this, I actually need it. They're also known for being a company worth investing stock in, and they're a company known for being the cutting edge tech device leader. They completely disrupted the cell phone and personal computer industry, And I think it's safe to say this is just the beginning for them. Who knows what else they'll create? But I bet because of their great marketing, we'll buy in. A more recent marketing success is Lululemon, a company that disrupted the athletic wear industry. In fact, now we have a new type of fashion because of companies like Lululemon. It's called athleisure. Lululemon is known for making fitness more fun because you look great and feel great wearing athletic clothes. Once again, Lululemon is more expensive than other brands, but people still buy it. Anytime there's a sale in any city, there's typically a line out the door. Like Apple, Lulu is a quintessential example of supply and demand. You want it. Scratch that. You need it so badly that they can charge you more for any item bearing their logo. That's the power of marketing. Let's walk through some marketing fundamentals. So the first thing is that you have to consider your audience and their behavior first. Think about your product and service. Think about who you want to buy that product or service. What do they spend their day doing? What are their times of the day where they're going to be looking at their cell phone or looking at their device? How do they take in information? Is it primarily through social media? Is it primarily through television? Is it primarily direct ads that come in the mail or billboards that are going down the side of the road? Is word of mouth a huge way to reach them? Whatever that is, you have to consider it and build your marketing plan around that. Second, before promoting your product or service, you must first consider how what you offer is different and better than your competitors' offerings. Going back to Apple and Android, Google also has products that are like Apple's. All of those companies have to be racking their brains and figuring out, how can I set my product or service apart from others? And whatever that is, again, that is their secret sauce. That is their storytelling. That is the element that's going to push them over the edge. And that's going to play a big role in their successful marketing plan. And then finally, once you know who your audience is and where you can find them and what they want, you can begin creating content that will appeal to them. Another Bill Gates quote is, "Content is king." And when it comes to marketing, it's true. Everything that you put out that represents your brand has to be spot on in order for you to have successful marketing. So here are a few common marketing tactics that can help you reel in your audience. So the first that comes to mind for most people when they think of marketing is traditional digital video and social media advertising. And the big word I want you to think here is advertising. Now, unlike being earned, advertising is something that you will pay for. It's something that you invest in. But remember the quote we talked about just a few minutes ago. You have to spend money to make money. And there's so many different traditional, digital, video, and social media advertising opportunities that you can use to tailor to your audience, to find them where they are and bring them across the finish line. Another common marketing tactic would be branded materials. Every pen, every notepad, every product that you put out should be branded with your logo, because the more people recognize that brand, they say that the more someone sees something over and over again, the more that they like it. And so branded materials, whilst it sounds like a small thing, is a big part of successful marketing. Websites. Your website is your digital storefront. It's the main center for all your communications. And when someone goes to your website, that's oftentimes their first impression of just you on a bigger scale after they saw an ad or a post on social media or a catalog in the mail. Websites are so important for successful marketing. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is something newer that people are really working into their strategies now, which is working to get their name as one of the top results when you search them in Google or another search engine. Right along with that are keywords. What are people searching that will take them back to your business, and how do you compete with that when people are searching? Lead forms to capture data. email campaigns that nurture your audience and remind them that you are still here, wanting to sell and serve them, sell them your products and serve them. And then social media and blogs are other important marketing tactics. So we've covered a lot of ground about PR and marketing, but now let's go ahead and compare the two. You may already have some ideas based on what we've learned so far. So let's put it to the test. If you're watching along, you'll see a Venn diagram right in front of you. On the left, we have the circle that is public relations. And a few things that stand out to me about public relations are that public relations influence public perception. It increases brand credibility, it establishes trust, and it tells stories strategically. Again, it's that storytelling plus action equals reputation. A few things on the right in the circle that represents marketing that stand out to me. Marketing is all about design and brand. It's about product promotion and product placement. And it's about recognizing audience behavior and working to influence it. But what do they have in common? So if you're looking at this Venn diagram, you see that there's a both category. So both PR and marketing, while different, they both influence an audience. They're both highly focused on curating content, and they both have a huge social media component. And that's not going to stop as our world becomes more and more digital and people look more and more to social media to be their guiding light for all the things that they need and all the brands that they want to support. So you can see by the differences and similarities why marketing works best with PR at its side, and PR works best with a good marketing strategy in place. So how do marketing and PR work together? As you begin using PR to establish trust and a reputation with your audience, you can then use marketing to position and place your brand so your audience will interact with and buy your product or service. Great brands use the art of building trust and encouraging goodwill through PR to give their marketing efforts the credibility it needs to back up its products and services. Incorporate both strategic PR and strategic marketing into your business plan to propel your brand forward. So here's an example of a company with historically great marketing, but with some recently very bad PR that's led to a major fall and a long recovery ahead. A few years ago, Bluebell Creamery had to recall lots and lots, thousands and thousands of jugs of ice cream. They had to pull them off the shelf due to listeria. To make a bad case worse, some people were seriously injured, and some people actually almost died as a result of eating Bluebell ice cream and being exposed to listeria. Bluebell eradicated the listeria, but now they're facing another scandal. There's been a national trend of customers actually opening Bluebell containers, licking the top of the ice cream, putting the lid back on, and then sticking it back in the freezer for an unlucky customer to buy. I don't know about you, but especially in a post-COVID world, that makes my skin crawl. This may not seem like Bluebell's fault, but what's one thing that other ice creams have that Bluebell doesn't? That extra piece of plastic on the top of the container that serves as an extra barrier for troublesome customers. Only time will tell how Bluebell survives the second crisis in less than 5 years. So what does it look like when a company has great PR but bad marketing? Well, you've probably never heard of those companies, or their lifespan will be a short one. So when I think about great PR but bad marketing, the historic example that comes to mind is an old ma and pop grocery store. Now, especially really all across the US, grocery stores used to be small and local and owned by your neighbors. You trusted them, you went to church with them, your kids played with them, and you wanted to support that business because you loved the people. Now, on a local level, that's PR to its finest. And a lot of times, these stores even had great prices because, again, it was about the work, but it was also about the care that they had for their community. And they wanted to have prices that made it easy for you to feed and take care of your family. But where are these grocery stores now? Most of them are gone, bought out by the Walmarts of the world. And why did they fail? Well, it's probably because they didn't have enough marketing. From a local business perspective, in a small town like Huntsville, you might be well known and beloved in your community, but without good marketing, how long will your business thrive? How long will it continue to scale? This is something you must consider for your business. It's important to not only have a great reputation, but also have a marketing plan in place that will carry you into the future. The truth of the matter is, great brands have it all: a great PR strategy and a great marketing strategy. Again, none of these brands are perfect, and each has their PR fire to put out through the years. But at the end of the day, these brands and many others that might come to mind are the brands we long for. They're the brands that we love. We love their products, but we also love what they do for our nation and our world. As a PR and marketing agency, these are the companies that Flourish hopes to one day see our clients become. So what's next? Well, first, I just want to thank you for taking some time to listen to this presentation. It's been so much fun to talk about public relations and marketing, and I hope that you leave this conversation having a little bit more of an idea of what the difference between the two are, and more importantly, how much you need both to have a successful business. Now, we only scratched the surface today, so if you want to learn more, please feel free to reach out to us. You can contact Flourish at hello@flourishconsultingservices.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Flourish_consulting, and you can reach us on Facebook at Flourish Consulting Services as well. And of course, like we talked about, websites are extremely important, so don't forget to check out our website, flourishconsultingservices.com. We hope to receive a phone call or an email from you soon, and hope to help you continue to learn more about how marketing and PR can help your business reach new heights. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day.